perpetually lit by the fury of the dusk. It is called the Grand Hotel of Orient. Only the name engraved on a large wooden plaque of the facade in ruins still keeps the brightness of the past. There are here in Goa many people like my hotel, the last descendants of the old Catholic aristocracy, display names equally improbable, but so Portuguese that no longer exists in Portugal. And they do so with melancholic pride of those who had everything and saw everything collapse and disappear. The people, however, use them happily, resembling a poor grocer who found on the street a rare edition of the Os Lusíadas, a masterpiece epic written by 16th century Portuguese poet Luís de Camões, and using its pages to describe in its margins the accounting of the day. So that would be the value of these names, Portuguese names. Further, the Agulhas writes, when leaving from the Dublin airport, stunned by the heat, the weariness of the 2 sleepless nights, and especially the confused uproar of the crowd at the party, I dropped my bag, relieved in the hands of the first taxi driver. I was lucky. Sal seems an honest and interesting person. He was a Catholic. The dashboard of his car, turned into altar, proclaimed that there's a Virgin Mary inside a glass case with small colored lights that flash to the beat of the music. A tiny urn with the incorrupt body of Saint Francis Xavier. A silver crucifix suspended from the rear view mirror. However, what first caught my attention was the blue and white flag of FC Porto, a soccer club, football club of Porto. A taxi with the flag of FC Porto, it is something I only expected to find in the city of Porto. If it was Benfica or Sporting, the least regional club, I would not be that much surprised. Yesterday, curiously, in conversation with the writer Mário Cabral de Sá, I knew that if it was actually in the 50s that the football club of Porto was created in Cioli, a village in Goa. He copied everything from Portugal. He told me with bitter irony. Sal's taxi also has a Portuguese flag affixed to the rear glass, next to another from the European Union. Finally, that's what won me over. Sal gave his car a beautiful name, Princess of Goa, and wrote that in golden paint on both sides, both doors. Today, Wednesday, there is a flea market in Anjuna. I arrived in Goa less than a week ago, and already several people spoke to me about the flea market in Anjuna. Don't go, they told me. Nothing of interest is there for you. That's why I came. I never stop looking for what other thing is of interest or is of no interest to me. At first glance, I admit it has no interest. The market thrives under the shade of coconut trees, even along the shore. There's nothing that is not sold there. Printed clothes, leather, sandals, trance music, cassettes, postcards, wooden handicraft jewelry, all at unbelievable cheap prices. When the Portuguese arrived in Goa, they found the villages organized in gauncars. So this is all his research. Our community that did the management of land and took care of the dikes. All land was managed by communities. The great communist thinker Marx himself studied the system of gauncars. Unfortunately, after the liberation, the Indian government imposed a different system, centralized, bureaucratic, which is ruining the dikes. If there is a problem with a dam, It is necessary to run from office to office, and when the money is finally available, the dam has already disappeared. There are in Goa 20,000 kilometers of early settlers because they were worshippers of nature, carefully observed the natural phenomena and cycles of the moon, the tides, and helped themselves from local materials for their buildings.
Okay, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
They knew what they were doing. We have to look back and learn from the past and act. In one page, he writes, Kingfisher, the largest selling beer in India, has a crisp and clean taste, which makes it beloved by millions. The sentence is not that label that is really the most consumed beer in India. I am pleased with it in that phrase, the crisp and clean taste. I think it's a little bit ironic here because he's showing a lot of things that are clean, which doesn't, but basically belongs to Goa because we see those streets and all these things unclean, right? In another page is a crystalline night, deep, transparent, and this is what indeed produces a sweet feeling of freshness. And then the big cities, in the big cities, it's not possible to see the stars. In Beijing, huge city, you would not be able to see the stars. So there are some ironies in the book. Certainly the author wants to make the contrast between the unclean city of Beijing with the crisp and clean taste of Kingfisher and the night with stars. Then he goes into some suspense and things like that. Let me see what else here can I say. He talks about St. Francis, okay, St. Francis, and he digs some aspect of the mummies of the Egypt. He really tried to talk about that aspect of it. And let's see what else. Yeah, and then that's part of suspense and mystery where he creates a plot, okay, and then someone tells him that he better leave Goa because otherwise, he will be killed. And also he visits the oracle of Sri Mangesh, where a priest also says the same thing, and he was surprised because of that. And then he really goes away. So it's interesting, and when it's published, probably would create some interest into it. Okay.